Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is the sequel to the 2014 Guardians of the Galaxy movie, a movie which, the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, nobody knew who these characters were. Marvel, slash Disney introduced us to the Guardians of the Galaxy, these new people, these new group of characters, and we fell in love with them. Fans and audience alike, we fell in love with both the movie and the characters within the movie. And there was a lot. Now there's like a bunch of memes and merchandise, and like it's everywhere. Now people know who the Guardians of the Galaxy is. And the first movie was so emotional. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The only thing I didn't like about the first movie was the villain. Wonin wasn't a strong villain compared to all the other villains. He wasn't the best. Which is a common thing about the MCU. Their heroes are amazing, but their villains are something that the MCU has suffered and struggled with. So yeah, but anyway, the first one was beautiful. It was amazing, and it was emotional. It had heart into it. It did make. It didn't. I didn't cry, but my heart did. Like my heart, I felt the emotion. I felt my heart. I can feel my heart crying. So it was beautiful. But anyway, here we are, the sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and as I said with all the other past MCU movies, and I'll keep saying it until we're all caught up with the MCU, which is Ant-Man and the Wasp. So until then, I will keep saying it, and that is that yes, there will be spoilers from this movie, so you have been warned. So be careful. Alright, so Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is about the Guardians. They travel throughout the cosmos as they help Peter Quill learn more about his mysterious parentage in the form of Ego, the living planet, played by the one and only amazing Kurt Russell. So Kurt Russell is going to be playing Peter Quill's Star-Lord's father, and which is a departure in the comics because Star-Lord's father in the comics is not Ego, it's someone else. I don't want to get into it, but here we are. So the first one I loved, so going into this, the trailers for this movie looked fun. It looked fun, it looked action-packed, but it definitely looked hilarious. Like this looks like a funny movie. And yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is a really funny movie, but not in a good way. So here's what I mean by that. It's a comedy. This movie is more of a comedy than it's a superhero comedy, but superhero sci-fi comedy than like action or something than like any other genre. Yeah, so the word I would use to describe this movie is a comedy, and not in a good way, because they changed a lot of things. Like, for example, Drax the Destroyer. Drax in the comics, and what he is best known, what I loved in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, was that Drax, he's the Destroyer. But in this movie, they changed Drax from the Destroyer to the comedic relief, or like the Joker, like the jokester. Like he's like making jokes, and he's making jokes. He's being hilarious, and not Vin Diesel. I'm thinking about. My mind is jumping to Groot. What I meant to say was not Vin Diesel. What I meant to say was Dave Bautista. Now, Dave Bautista, he's amazing. He's amazing. Trying to as he shows the funny side of Drax, but Drax is the destroyer. He's not the Joker. He's not the Joker. He's not like he shouldn't be making he shouldn't be making like cracking all these jokes. It just didn't feel out of character. Like one of the like Drax, his motivation is that Thanos killed his wife and his daughter, and he wants to avenge their deaths by killing Thanos. That's his motivation. And he was intimidating and he was scary in the first movie, and he did have a sense of humor with the whole finger to the throat and him taking everything literally. That's one of the things I loved about his character, and he was a bit of, like I said, he had a sense of humor. He was a bit funny. But in this one, he's just straight out just making jokes and cracking jokes here and there, like every 5 minutes, like saying Mantis looks horrible, looks ugly and horrible, and and also I felt like this movie is like there's like too many, like I remember like critics were like saying that Suicide Squad had like the music and the songs in Suicide Squad felt misplaced, and it felt like not a musical, but like a music video. That's another word I would use to describe this movie. It's a music video. It's a comedic music video, because there's like music and songs playing from the soundtrack like every 5 minutes. Like there are points in the movie where I was like, okay, okay, I could use a breather, take a break from like the soundtracks, they're great music, they're great songs, but like but I would like to take a break from the songs and all that. And then finding out, I thought Mantis was a nice addition to the Guardians of the Galaxy. She is a bit naive, like she is a bit naive, with agreeing with everything Drax said to her about being ugly and looking hideous. It was a bit funny, not too much. I didn't straight up laugh out of my seat. But yeah, and then also finding out that Nebula, she just wanted a sister. We find out a little bit more. And also, like, Thanos is so fucked up. Thanos is he's one fucked up motherfucker. Like, oh my god. Poor Nebula. Like, Thanos would make Nebula and Gamora fight each other. And then, of course, all the time, Gamora would win. And when Nebula loses, which is pretty much like all the time, Thanos would rip a body part or like an organ or something, and just replace it with metal and machine. That's fucked up and extremely brutal to just imagine. Imagining the whole thing, which, yeah, no. Oh my god. Yeah, Thanos. Fuck Thanos. Oh my god. What a terrible thing. What a terrible tragedy to happen to Thanos, to happen to Nebula. And another thing I didn't like about this movie is the whole gold people, like the sovereignties, like the sovereign, whatever the fuck they're called. Like, why? There's like a couple subplots in this movie that I'm like, I could do without. I could do without. It's just, they were terrible. They were terrible, and there's like a subplot with the Gold People. There's another subplot with Sylvester Stallone and the original Guardians of the Galaxy. And then there's the main plot where Star-Lord is, Peter Quill is learning more about his parentage, his father, who who his father is, and then trying to bond with them. There's like so much going. There's so much bullshit going on in this movie. It's just it kind of feels, I kind of feels too much. And plus, like I said, there's like so much songs and music and humor that I did not like at all. Like I mean, yeah, sure, I did chuckle, I did chuckle and laugh here and there, but like the rest of it, it didn't really hit me, you know? And yeah. Now, what else? Oh, yeah, like finding out that ego finding out that ego put the tumor in Star-Lord's mother, like his own wife. Fuck this. My God, this movie has a bunch of like terrible fathers. Like first, like like mainly ego, but we get to but a little bit with Thanos. Like, well, I guess the main one of the main themes. I guess the main theme, if not one of the main themes of the MCU, is family, and you really feel that here in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So yeah. Jesus. Like, I'm like, why would you say that, by the way? Why would you say that? Why? Any smart person would not say that, but why would ego, like, out loud just say, I'm the one, it breaks my heart, or it saddens me to put that tumor in her head, or something like that. Like, why would you say that? It's like they're trying to find a way to move the plot along, and they couldn't think of it, so let's just have him just say what his plans are. Oh my God, what the hell went wrong with this movie? I wanted to love this movie, and I ended up, like, walking out of the theater and being like, yeah, this movie is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is down there, all the way down with Iron Man 2 and Thor 2, which is funny because like the sequels, the sequels or the second movies of all these franchises don't really do well, except for the Captain America ones. Avengers Age of Ultron is like the one and only bad movie, quote unquote, out of all of the other Avengers movies. Like the first one was amazing, seeing all these characters unite, and then of course you had the big conclusion, the 2-part conclusion with Infinity War and Endgame. So yeah, Captain America is like the only franchise that improves, and goes all the way up. I didn't really like Ant-Man and the Wasp, but we'll talk about that and save that when we do that movie review. But yeah, Iron Man 2, Thor 2, all these other twos and twos and seconds, they're not really good. They're not really that great. Except for Captain America and also Spider-Man Far From Home. I really did enjoy Spider-Man Far From Home. And it looks like the next movie on our list is, speaking of Spider-Man, the next movie on our MCU train is Spider-Man Homecoming. So, if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, what did you think about it? What are your issues with this movie? Put it in the comment section below. I would like to hear what you all thought about it. Thank you so much for taking your time and listening to my review. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family, and I will see you soon.